was Captain Thomas Cudahy, 39, of Hicksville, Long Island. Cudahy was to have celebrated his 40th birthday next Monday. Reporting live from Islip, this is Jonathan Friedman, News Center 3.
What's wrong? Is that a Mama?
Oh, he's There's something I have to tell you.
Welcome to the OCB, Mikey, the meanest, toughest organized crime strike force since Ness put the screws to Capone.
I'm impressed, Frank. But forgive me, you know Robert Stack.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly Rico or Youngblood yourself. Now pay attention for the $5 briefing. La Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian mob.
We have 8 major cities with high LCN activity, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. We're facing the Yakuza, Chinese tongs, Rastafarian crackheads, and biker mobs dealing methamphetamine ice.
As soon as it's gonna be over, I'm due for a root canal.
Hey, sports shoes, you think I need this?
Keep going, Frank. This is riveting.
The point is, the local cops can't keep track of all this. That's where the OCB comes in. We have the backing of the Bureau, not to mention the DEA, IRS, ATF, and Customs. Now, you need a Lear in downtown Detroit at midnight, you pick up the phone, you got it.
Just in case I ever want to be in downtown Detroit at midnight.
The point is, we have national jurisdiction. More importantly, we're insulated. You remember what it was like when you worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office? Phone calls from Washington, D.C., flack from local politicians? Well, we're different. We only answer to one man, the Attorney General himself.
That's comforting. I remember when John Mitchell was the AG. Where was it that he served after Watergate, Lompoc, or Leavenworth?
Listen, we take some heat once in a while, but for the most part, we carry our own bags.
Fitting metaphor, Frank. It's time to pack up.
Paul, what are you talking about?
The OCB, it's finished.
Speak English.
Graham Rudman. Budget cuts. Stick your head up far enough in D.C. and guaranteed there's a member of Congress standing behind you ready to cut off your head.
So what are you saying?
We've been decapitated. They're breaking us up. From here on out, the work of the OCB will be carried on locally in each of the U.S. Attorney's offices.
They can't do that.
Oh, yes, they can, and they have.
I've got 14 years in, Paul. It's almost a third of my life. My marriage broke up. My son doesn't know who... I've given everything to this job.
And you'll continue to do so. I've arranged for you to go to New York. Santana goes with you.
The Southern District? That's the Chamber's office.
It's also the strongest U.S. attorney's seat in the country. Wall Street, Little Italy, Chinatown, all cheek to jowl. They've got the jurisdiction and they've got the juice. It's the best I can do.
What about lifeguard?
Well, we've still got men in the field, Frank, so naturally the controllers that handle our undercover agents will have to stay in place. Requiescat in pace. May the OCB rest in peace.
So much for the Untouchables, huh, Frank? This one's great. Men who eat mushu pork with MSG wake up with migraine.
It's not.
I swear.
You see that? I was...
Okay, you read yours.
Okay. When you find life's true love, keep it. Happiness is perishable. So is it true that you're going to be living in New York now?
Like the song says, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. All you have to do is live in a high-security building, don't go out after 8, and never run in the park without air cover. Something wrong? What is it?
I've been offered a job in Los Angeles. Big corporate law firm, Brandt, Klein, and Bach.
Did you take it?
Not yet. I have to let them know Monday.
What's wrong with your mother's firm? Huh? It's top shelf. Your father always dreamed of you practicing there. Besides, it's 10 blocks away instead of 3,000 miles.
If you think that you and McPike lock horns, you haven't seen Mother and me in action.
All right, admit it. What's her real problem? That I'm Cuban? Gentile? Or disbarred?
2 and 3.
I'll get readmitted. I'll convert. Look, the point is, your mother's out of town. We're together now, and we have this whole apartment to ourselves.
Michael, I can't now.
Want to know what my fortune really said? Life is short. You will never have this moment again. to seize the day.
Mother.
We were just discussing the wedding, Mrs. Stein. We figured a short, non-denominational ceremony followed by a sit-down dinner for 50 at Tavern on the Green.
The wind chill factor will be 40 below in hell before that happens. Now get your clothes on and get out of here.
All in all, I'd say the first meeting was pretty impressive. What do you think?
You wanted to see me?
Oh, good. You're dressed.
If you called me in here to embarrass me, you've succeeded.
Wait. How would you feel if you came home after 2 hard weeks and found your daughter lying on the floor in flagrante delicto?
It is just like you, Mother, reducing everything to a legal term of art.
All right. Truth? When are you leaving for Los Angeles?
Well, I'm not sure I'm going now. I don't see why I should have to travel all the way across the country to work when the family business is here.
There's a very simple explanation, darling. There's no Michael Santana in area code 213.
Stay out of my personal life, Mother.
All right. How about this? I don't want my law firm coming under public scrutiny because of your association with this man.
Your law firm. It was also my father's.
A man who taught you how lucky you are to be living in a country that was ruled by a government of laws, not of men.
What does that have to do with this?
Principle, ethics, a code your father lived by. He'd be crushed to see you shacking up with this unindicted co-conspirator.
You know, Mother, L.A. is looking better and better every minute.
Mrs. Stein?
No, that's my mother. I'm Hillary Stein.
Oh. We were told that this is the best negligence law firm in New York.
Yep, one of them.
It's very difficult getting in to see your mother. Her secretary told us that we might not be able to get an appointment for a month.
We can't wait that long. We need somebody to see us today.
Well, what's the problem? Maybe I can help.
Are you a lawyer?
As of about a minute ago, I was, yeah. All of your husbands died in helicopter crashes.
The CH-57 Sea Warrior.
And in each of these crashes, the same explanation was given? Pilot error?
My husband Tom flew dust-offs in Vietnam. 2 tours. He knew what he was doing.
Sue, tell her about, you know.
One night, about a year and a half ago, all of us went out for dinner together. And the men were complaining about the helicopter rotor systems. They felt that they might not be safe.
About a week later, my husband's chopper went down.
6 months later, mine died. I tried calling the helicopter manufacturer, the Navy, whoever would listen. Then, one night, the phone rang. It was very late. It was just a voice. He said, "Back off."
Any idea who it was?
No.
We are sure that there's a cover-up going on here. We just don't know who's behind it.
What I can do is refer you to one of the partners.
Look, that's all that we've been getting. The referrals. The Navy, their military investigators, one law firm after another. Our children want answers. They need to know why their fathers died. And so do we. Do you have any idea what it's like growing up without a father, Miss Stein?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I do. My father passed away when I was in the 6th grade.
Then help us. Please.
investigation going?
No comment.
It's all right, I'm not a reporter.
Of course not. You're a PI attorney here to pick through the bones, right?
That's right. I'm here investigating for the families of the men who died in this crash. Not to mention the other families.
What other families?
Oh, come on, you know how many Sea Warriors went down.
Pilot error.
Oh, that is like saying a car accident was caused by the driver losing control.
There's an old saying among safety investigators.
Which is?
When you can't pinpoint the exact cause, there's always pilot error.
Found the fuel pump, Carl.
Okay, Ted. Tag it and bag it. I'll be with you in a sec.
Look, can't you give me something, anything, to tell my clients?
Off the record?
Yeah.
The rotor assembly looks like it might have come apart in flight. It could be the pilot didn't maintain adequate RPMs. It's hard to tell when all you got to sift through is 10 tons of metal. Hey, you! What the hell are you doing? Get away from that rotor!
Who's that?
I thought he was with you.
That bastard talks this time, he's a dead man. Don't lose him, let's roll.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, what have you have that's diet?
You want something good? Try my Black Russian with Slim Fast.
Yeah, why don't you just give me a diet ginger ale? Mind if I sit down?
Public place, you want to sit, no need to ask me for permission.
I saw you at the crash back there. I've been retained by the wives of the pilots who died in the Sea Warrior crashes.
I'll catch you tomorrow, Chuck.
Wait, don't leave. I saw you looking at the rotor blades back
I was just
there.
looking, that's all. I don't remember at what.
The wives of those pilots remember their husbands talking about faulty rotor systems on the helicopters. I thought you might know something.
I don't.
Listen, the men who died in those crashes had families, children to come home to.
Yeah, jobs to keep and mortgages to pay.
Not anymore, they don't.
Over there.
Can I get you something? It was gin, wasn't it?
Club soda, but no thanks. I don't drink the hard stuff anymore. I'm Daryl Jenkins.
I'm Hillary Stein.
I'm a parts manager down at Arrow Point. Aircraft parts manufacturer down the road. We supply the spares for those Sea Warriors. Pilot air, huh?
You don't sound convinced.
Why should I be? I can tell you straight out, those choppers went down because of substandard 3/8-inch fastener bolts.
Fastener bolt?
Yeah. Supposed to hold up the rotor system.
And Arrow Point distributes those parts.
Distributes? Huh. Lady, we make the damn things. Let me tell you, they're crap.
You mean they're substandard?
I mean counterfeit, bogus. We even make them with the original serial numbers from the manufacturers on.
Who's behind this?
Jack Bishop. He owns the company. Brags about how they're better than the real things, about how their bolts are supposed to withstand high-velocity friction. The damn things melt in a microwave.
And you're sure about this?
When that first chopper went down, I figured it was just an accident. Then the second chopper crashed. I got suspicious, so I checked the sales invoices to the Navy. But I still wasn't sure. And then last week, when those guys bought the farm, that's when I knew.
Late night tonight, huh, Jenkins?
Hello, Mr. B. I was just discussing some insurance plans. I've got to go.
My home number's on the back. Why don't you give me a call when you decide whether you want the whole life or the term?
Mr. B.
That's a good idea.
What is?
Him getting insurance.
Excuse me.
What are you talking about? I got the order right here. Dozen copper O-rings for the C-130 blade housings at $2 apiece. Where are you gonna find them cheaper? Taiwan. You son. Fine. Go ahead. Try them. See if the blades don't fall off. Beltway bandits. You know, it's wingtip bozos like him that make this world the sewer it is, Axel, not God. Not fate, not manifest destiny, just people. I ought to take this, stick it under his chin, watch him squirm, huh? Any word on our boy?
I checked out the registration on Chick's car. It's leased to Murphy, Cooper, and Stein, law firm. They got a whole floor in a Chrysler building.
Find out what business she's got with Daryl.
How am I supposed to do that?
What are you asking me for? Call Lee Iacocca. Just do it.
Michael, you didn't have to call me. I got home all right.
Miss Stein,
Yes?
it's Daryl Jenkins. Did you see it?
See what?
The news. It's on now.
What's on?
Another one.
Again, recapping this hour's top story, the second Navy Sea Warrior in the past 4 days has crashed off Portsmouth, New Hampshire. All 4 crew members are reported missing, and we'll have crash footage just as soon as it's available. In other news, President Bush...
4 crashes within the last year and a half. 21 people are dead. And we can put together a class action suit with upwards of 20 plaintiffs.
Who manufactures these helicopters, Hillary?
Engelhart Strong. They're in Pomona, California.
Very nice. Dun & Bradstreet gives them 4 stars. They're a top 50 Fortune 500 company. $2 billion in assets.
Yeah, with 20 plaintiffs, damages could easily climb to the hundreds of millions.
Well, we wouldn't be suing the manufacturers, Mr. Murphy.
What?
Liability clearly lies with Arrow Point, the parts maker.
How deep is the pocket?
I haven't checked.
You should. I took the liberty of pulling Aeropoint's DMB. Their assets after debt are in the neighborhood of $3 million, too. Pretty poor neighborhood, if you ask me.
I'm sure they're indemnified way beyond that.
That's if they don't go Chapter 11.
Why should they? Their return on investment last year was 18%.
If we go after Aeropoint, I'm convinced they'll fold.
She may be right, Hillary. We'll bill your time at, say, $400 an hour. Let's say the trial's 2 years off. Figure appeals. Even if you're successful, we could end up with 700,000 or 800,000 in billables. How do we recover that if Aeropoint goes belly up?
Since when is this just about money?
Excuse me?
Well, the wives of these pilots, they want compensation, sure, but they also want justice.
Forgive me, darling, but in negligence suits, compensation is justice. I sincerely doubt your Mrs. Cudahy would be content with an $800 a month Navy pension.
This is not a pro bono firm, Hillary. We have our own debt to consider.
Mother?
I'm sorry, darling. But in this case, I'm afraid I'll have to support my partners.
Terrific. The next time Susan Cudahy wants a lecture on ethics and principle, I'll be sure and give her your number.
I don't have to tell you all how good this office has been in the past. The Pizza Connection, the Drexel-Burnham insider trading case.
That's when Giuliani was in charge.
We've gutted the 5 families. We've sent shockwaves through Wall Street. Quite frankly, the Southern District U.S. Attorney's Office has been a bastion against all lesser men who think that freedom is a license to print money.
What the hell's he running for?
Today, I am proud to announce that the best just got better. The chief investigator for the Justice Department's Organized Crime Bureau, Frank McPike, will be joining forces with us to head up a special organized crime unit.
So much for my future in undercover work.
And please don't be put off by his dour demeanor. I can assure you that faced with a wanted felon, the man is a killer.
They let me out for good behavior.
How about a few words for the Fourth Estate? Agent McPike.
I was never really very much with words. I'm Irish, you see. Well, I don't know. What can I say? I've worked with Mr. Chambers for several weeks. Now, I can tell you unequivocally that he is as good a prosecutor as he can possibly be. And why not? His father's one of the best senators money can buy. No, just, it was.
What the hell was that?
Well, that, I think, was called the dog and pony show. See, you were the pony, I was the dog.
Hey, look, Pike, I only took you on as a favor to the AG. Now, I want you in my office in 5, or I swear you will be working out of the FBI office in Guam.
Oh, you know, it's just one of the many things I've always hated about New York.
What's that? The coffee. Man, there must be 1,000 coffee shops in New York, and they're all run by these Greeks. They all brew this terrific Java. It comes in these little blue cups with pictures of the Parthenon on the side.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, so what's wrong with that is that everybody orders out. Therefore, the in-house coffee tastes like toxic waste. Oh, Michael, in Washington, D.C., the office coffee machine is a thing of reverence. A vessel from the finest from Juan Valdez. The milk's always fresh, and powdered creamer... a powdered creamer is considered verboten. Oh, sure, laugh. Let me tell you something. The 10:30 coffee break is an institution. It's a birthright. With coffee like this. The first day on the job, I know it. I'm gonna hate it. Well, look at this.
Yeah.
Nameplates with Velcro on the back.
Symbolic of what they think of our tenure here.
Let me explain the pecking order here, Santana. I am the top guy, and everyone else isn't. You said you had some cases from the OCB for me? What have you got?
Nothing right now, Win. It's all a little premature.
Well, then why don't I just approve your transfer and cut my losses on this thing right now?
And lose Special Agent Frank McPike and the Wonder Dog Santana? Now, what would your friends on Eyewitness News say?
Miss Hillary Stein is here. She says she has a case for you.
I still don't understand why Arrow Point would manufacture these substandard bolts.
What kind of car do you drive, Mr. Chambers?
Porsche 911 Turbo Targo. Why?
What's the list price?
100,000. Well, what does that have to do with
You know why they steal so many Porsches?
people like to drive fast?
No. It's because of the parts. They want the parts. Soon as one of those targets gets ripped, they break it down. That's because the sum of the parts is worth more than the sticker price, 130, 140,000. It's the same thing with aircraft parts. See this boat? It's titanium. It was made by the original manufacturer, Engelhart Aircraft. It was designed to hold for 50,000 air miles. You see the serial number on it?
Yeah.
Engelhart listed for $25. Now, see this? Looks the same, right? Mm-hmm. Only the metal's different. Steel versus titanium. This one was made by Arrow Point. Bishop sells them for half price, and I guarantee you, they'll rupture at 5,000 air miles.
So why don't more choppers go down?
They do more than you think. Only it's not just choppers. Arrow Point supplies parts for fixed wing as well. All 4 branches of the service.
So what do you say, Winnie? This case big enough for you?
First thing we have to do is have these bolts tested to confirm this man's story.
I've already done that. Test results from the lab. All confirmed.
Well, then it seems to me that we need,
Copies of Arrow Point's invoices, their customer lists. We need to know who these bogus parts have been sold to. There may be thousands of planes still up there in danger.
Yeah, that's good. Can you get those for us?
I don't know if...
Here, why don't you just draw up warrants? This man's done enough for us.
Would you excuse us for a minute, Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah, sure. I'll be right here.
He has already told us himself that Bishop is wary. Now, he is an employee. He has access to the data.
Why don't you let me try to get in, huh? I can pose as a buyer, get next to Bishop.
There's no time.
So what's the hurry, Winnie? The election's not for 6 months.
I am sick of this lip. Look, with a box of bolts, we have nothing. If this guy really wants to help us out, he's just going to have to make one more trip.
That's absurd.
I don't like it. The man's a civilian, Chambers.
He's the only man who's going to make the case for us.
And what do you have us here for? Why don't you just let us do our job?
Oh, okay. Your job right now is to sit down, shut up, and listen. Mr. Jenkins? So, what do you say, Mr. Jenkins? Are you up to it?
Look, I brought the boats. I don't see why I gotta...
You have to stop this man, Bishop. There's no telling how many of our servicemen may still be in danger. You can help us. Now, if you bring me that customer list, I will indict. That's a promise.
He should be just getting out of Bishop's office by now, on his way here.
I told you we should have gone with it, Frank.
Uncle, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I got a profile on Bishop. A regular 4-star patriot, this one.
Who's this?
Remember I told you I had an Uncle Bill?
I didn't know you and McPike were related.
Go on, hit us.
Former supply sergeant with the 101st Airborne Division. Now, he re-upped for another tour in country, but he spent it in Leavenworth.
How come?
Well, they nailed him trading black market pineapples.
English, Uncle.
He was selling hand grenades out of the back of the magazine at Tan Son Nhut. Now, the word was the Viet Cong were his biggest customer. He was in for 10, but he only did a nickel. Seems that he found his redeemer in prison, and they cut short his term by 5 years. Now, the next thing you know, this guy shows up as a consultant to the DOD. He got fat on the Reagan buildup, but then got blown out the back door during that procurement scandal back in '87. Somehow along the way, he got enough cash to buy into Aeropoint. Looks like they were doing really well until Gorbachev pulled the curtain, and the gravy train stopped.
That's it?
Yeah, except that his parole officer wasn't fooled by the old-time religion. Says here he's a borderline sociopath. You color him dangerous.
Thank you, Uncle.
Daryl didn't drink.
I'm just telling you what forensics said when they hit the scene. They found a half-empty bottle of gin on the floor of the car.
Damn it, we had the bolts. With Daryl's testimony, it might have been enough to nail Bishop.
Hey, take some advice from an expert. Don't second-guess yourself.
We never should have asked him to take those records.
Well, we all know who asked him. Besides, Daryl made his own decision.
Like we gave him a lot of choice.
Well, pretty soon you'll be the one who forced them off the road, Hillary.
I have every right to feel responsible, not just to Daryl, but to Susan Cudahy and all those other women who put their faith in me. I made him a promise, and I failed them.
None of this is going to help us get Bishop.
Are you serious? It's over with Bishop. 10 to 1, he's had a shredding machine running all night. A search warrant would be useless to us right now.
She's right, Michael.
Wait a minute. Who's your contact at DEA?
Ray Vieira, why?
I want you to call him. Find out if they've seized any aircraft in the Medellin cartel in the past few weeks.
What the hell for?
I'll tell you later.
What are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, Pop.
Sí, hijo, ¿qué pasa?
How is the job going? Yeah, the job's good. Frank McPike's being a pain in the butt, but what else is new? Look, I have a question for you. All those years you were servicing Guzman's planes for Aerolib, you ever buy parts from a company called Arrow Point?
Arrow Point? Absolutely.
You did? All right. Now look, I need something. Are you ready? Please, take this down. Con un papel y pluma. Necesito la información.
This is stunt work, Santana. I hate hot dogging.
You have any better ideas?
Not at the moment.
The facts come in from my father.
Yeah.
You got the search warrant?
Right here. You need anything else?
Just the facts, man. Only the facts. 5 minutes, then you hit the ground running. Got
Be
it?
careful, Michael.
Who the hell are you?
Frosty the Snowman.
Miguel Santana.
Recognize the company name?
Aerolib? Yeah. Belonged to Amado Guzman before he stepped off from the money laundering deal.
Well, after Senor Guzman was forced to step down, he handed the airline over to me.
I'm sure you're headed someplace with all of this.
Last year, my company bought $300K worth of parts from this chop shop you run.
You and 1,000 other people.
Yeah, well, the difference is I lease my aircraft to some influential clients, men whose business it is to move certain pharmaceuticals around the Caribbean basin. Got it?
Get Axel in here.
2 weeks ago, one of my turbojets did a nosedive off Bermuda. They spilled 40,000 pounds of Libyan marching powder into St. George's Reef.
What's that got to do with me?
The fuel pump I ordered from this skunk works of yours was supposed to have stainless steel pistons. You sold me chrome plate. Now, my clients are listening to some ugly rumors. Some people are saying that I ditched the plane intentionally, that I'm doing Boy Scout work for the feds to beat prison.
What the hell do you want with me, man?
Something you're not used to selling. The truth. You see, I deal in surplus too.
What are you talking about?
I want your customer list. I need to show my brothers in Bogota where the bogus parts have come from.
I can't do that.
No?
You're crazy.
Hey! What's that in his hand, boss?
You fool. Put the gun down!
Do you have any idea what a room looks like after a percussion grenade goes off?
You let go. You die too.
A gentler fate than the one my Colombian brothers have in store for me. And you decide.
All right. Give him the disc.
But boss, after all we did to get this...
Give it to him!
Don't move! Damn Bishop, we have a warrant for your arrest. Oh, look who we have here. Michael Santana of Drugs or Us. Cuff them both.
Okay, once more for the record, you say you never met Daryl Jenkins.
That's right.
You've been at Airpoint for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years with a company that has less than 75 employees, and you never laid eyes on the guy.
Hey, look, I'm not that good with faces, all right?
Mr. McPike, if you're quite finished, my client's been over this at least half a dozen times.
Half a dozen
At
times?
least.
Thank you. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll change my line of questioning. Axel, you smoke?
Do I smoke? What's that got to do with?
Listen, I know it's a filthy habit, but it's not yet a capital crime. You just answer it. Do you smoke?
I don't, but my...
But your boss does?
I don't know.
To Axel for 5 years of loyal service. Best, Jack Bishop.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chambers, but I'm afraid you failed to establish any proximate cause between the alleged defective bolts and the Sea Warrior crashes. I'll allow for the fraud counts, but I'm afraid you haven't a case for manslaughter here.
No, that can't be.
With all due respect, Your Honor, we would argue that the issue of proximate cause is one of fact for a jury to decide.
The ruling stands, Mr. Chambers. Bail will be set at $100,000.
That's outrageous, because that man killed our husbands and you're letting him go.
I'll have to ask you to be quiet, ma'am. Now, this may seem like an injustice to you, but right now all the government's been able to prove is that Mr. Bishop may be guilty of a white-collar crime.
So much for your justice.
We have a confession.
Your Honor, the FBI has just developed some important new evidence linking Mr. Bishop to the murder of one of his employees.
Front and center, gentlemen. What the hell's this about?
It's about homicide, Your Honor. We believe this man was murdered. He was on his way to meet federal investigators. He had evidence against the defendant.
Mr. Bishop was aware of the death, Your Honor, an alcohol-related traffic death. He sent money and flowers to the victim's family.
And he also sent the man who killed him. This lighter was found in the burnt-out wreck along with the victim's body. You can just make out the inscription.
Just circumstantial.
Yeah, except we got a witness.
The government calls Axel Whitnow.
All right, quiet. I said quiet. This court now has probable cause to believe that the defendant may be implicated in a conspiracy involving intent to kill murder. We order him bound over to the grand jury and held without bail. We stand in recess.
I just want you to know that my husband died in that crash 2 weeks ago. These are his children.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
No. You're gonna listen to me, and you're gonna listen good. Thomas Brian Cudahy strapped himself into that helicopter to serve and protect people like you. And you let him die. You let the husbands of those other women die, too. And for what? For a few dollars profit. And what was it worth to you, Bishop? Huh? What was it worth?
Congratulations.
You know, it's funny. If I hadn't been in your office that day, I never would have had this chance.
I wanted to talk to you about the other day. I made a mistake, darling.
You were in a difficult position.
No. I put my responsibility to the firm before my responsibility to the law. I was wrong.
It's all right, Mother. I understand.
I wish your father could have seen what happened in that court today.
I know. Me too.
Just don't get hurt.
If only we had laws to protect us from ourselves.
U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District. May I help you? One moment, please. U.S. Attorney's Office.
Oh,
Southern
Miss Stein.
District. May I help you?
Did you see page 1 of this morning's Times?
Yeah. It looks like that snowstorm from Canada is really on its way here, huh?
The right column, the relevant stuff. Quote, the arrest of Jack Bishop could have far-reaching repercussions. U.S. Attorney Winston Chambers believes that Mr. Bishop is just one of dozens of counterfeit parts dealers nationwide. He called on Congress to...
Stop blubbering, just ask her.
Ask me what?
Well, Hillary, it's obvious that you and Frank made this case. With some assistance from Zorro here. Anyway, Hillary, I would be a fool to let you get away. Top-flight criminal prosecutors are very hard to come by. And you've already had 5 years' experience with the Justice Department. Ready?
Spit it out, man.
I'd like you to join the team.
Yes. Yeah, all right, I'm in.
Wonderful, wonderful.
When do I get to meet Uncle Bill?
Due time, Miss Stein, due time. Congratulations.
Oh, and I realize that you and I got off to a shaky start. I'd just like to let you know that as far as I'm concerned, you're here to stay.
Thanks, Winnie. Coming from you, it's a real comfort.